Good morning, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning. Thank you to everyone that was on the live last night. Something spectacular happened last night, and it always does on the lives. We always seem to time it just so everyone that does join the live, you'll know what happened. If you didn't join the live, have a little look and find out. What we did do on the live last night also was we picked the team, and it was interactive. We did pick the team for the game against Dundee away this weekend. And we did it quite interactive, which was quite good for the channel. It was another new breakthrough. It was another new breakthrough even for the One Celtic Fans View. Anyway, good morning. And Celtic news. The Celtic news last night, obviously, it broke that there was a Celtic player that was set to return to Celtic. And that's the one and only Sead Haksabanovic. Sead Haksabanovic still has 3 years on his contract left at Celtic. Celtic want 2.2 million for the Montenegrin winger. They do want 2.2 million to get him off the books. Doesn't look like he's got a contract. He's got any manoeuvrability to come back to Celtic and try and do well. I think he had an almighty fallout with the manager. You remember he was written by Ange Postecoglou back in the summer of 2022. Was it the summer? I can't even remember. Was it not winter? I can't remember. Anyway, he was sent to Stoke. Now, he wasn't sent to Stoke as a go and prove yourself. He was sent to Stoke because he spoke out about getting a lack of game time and he thought he was better than what he was. And let's face it, there's only ever going to be one winner in that scenario, and that's not the player. It happens with the big Greek player that went to America. He wanted game time, and Celtic made a bit of money out of him. Sead Haksabanovic, Celtic only want 2.2 million to get him off the books. I think that it says a lot. I think it says that the manager doesn't want him near. After a season where he's been on the bench, most of it, Stoke have decided that they're going to part ways. They don't want to sign the player. He's not done enough at Stoke to prove that he's worth even 2.2 million. Says a lot about the player who came from such a high caliber after playing in Russia. Anyway, Celtic want to sell him. They want £1.7 million, 2.2 million euros. Looks like they're trying to just get a bit of their money back. They're just going to cut their losses and get him off the books by the looks of it. He's probably on a decent wage as well. Anyway, there's another player that is obviously leaving Celtic this summer. We all know about it. The speculation will be rife about the goalkeeper that will follow in the footsteps of Joe Hart. And I have said for many, many months now, I think Celtic will be looking for 2 goalkeepers this summer. My preference for the third choice goalkeeper would be to bring in young Toby that has been out on loan, who has been getting some game time, and is make him as your third choice keeper. I think it's important for a club like Celtic that the youngsters of the club that are coming through see this pathway, and I think that with Darren O'Dea now put in this position of pathway manager or whatever it is, it's basically showing the youngsters how they can progress and laying out plans for each individual person that comes through the youth system and set up the pathway getting into the first team. Toby needs to be the third choice goalkeeper. It's as simple as that. We have Scott Bain, and obviously Scott Bain is there because of his Scottish heritage, and that's the only reason Scott Bain's there. But when it comes to the third choice keeper and keeper for just pushing on into the first team, it has to come. They have to come through the youth system. It's just my own personal belief. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Anyway, Joe Hart wants a fairy tale ending. He doesn't believe in fairy tales, but he wants to go out on a high. We all know that. And he has been speaking, and he says a couple of weeks ago, he said he doesn't. Well, we all know the story. He doesn't believe in fairy tales. He also doesn't believe in scoring penalties, and then turning and winking and smiling to his teammates. Oh, Joe, you'll forever be remembered. And I think it's good that he has spoken to Celtic and said, look, if there's any capacity at all at the club, I would like to stay here in some kind of coaching. He doesn't want to go into full-time management. But if there was a part-time position to become available at Celtic within coaching the goalkeepers, and I think when you look at it, he's had a fantastic career. I mean, although he hasn't won probably what he thought he might have won during the years, over a career of over 20 years, he has probably had his most successful continuous spell here at Celtic. Although you could say having 75 caps for your country is an immense achievement. Absolutely immense achievement. And it's just a shame for us that it was England. But it was joyous the time when our one and only, our own Lee Griffiths, put two past them in the same game. Yes, he did. Who would have thought when Griff done that he would have been coming to Celtic? You would never have said that then. That day when Lee Griffiths steps up and does what Griff does best, and it was doing free kicks and stuff and putting the ball in the back of the net, for him to do it not only once against England, but then twice against Joe Hart. Nobody in their right mind would have said that he's going to be a Celtic goalkeeper. Everyone would have said, what kind of gear are you been sniffing? It's like, give me a pint of that. You would never have said that. But he has come to Scotland and he taken a massive wage, and people forget this. He taken a massive, massive wage cut to come to Celtic. He wanted to finish his career on a high. Postecoglou had that phone call with him, and the chance for him to play in obviously the Champions League, the final few years of his career. Big for any player. Any player worth his salt wants to play in the Champions League. Don't care who they are. I mean, you have many players that leave Celtic and go down to the English Championship and stuff, and then their career kind of just goes along. And some people think that being money focused and trying to earn as much money, and you totally get that. I do get that because let's face it. I mean, even James Forrest at 32-year-old has been told he's past it, whilst little Jamesy Forrest goes, "Hold my pint, big man." He's saying, "Hold my pint." And the fact is that we call him wee Jamesy Forrest, but he's actually not that wee, is he? But anyway, Joe Hart, he has won a couple of English Premierships, a couple of League Cups, FA Cups, 2 Scottish titles, 2 Scottish League Cups, and the Scottish Cup. Could he about to add another double? He wants to go out on a high. He doesn't believe in luck. He believes in hard work. He says he's not banking on fate. He's not banking on things to happen because it should happen in the stars. He believes that if the team goes out and they work their hardest, it's as simple as that. He says there's been a few bumps in his career. He's not had plain sailing. We all know it. But football can bite your backside at any minute. 37-year-old. He's ready to hang up his boots, he said. He's ready to hang up his boots, and he's been shown that he's focused not only on Celtic, but he's 100% focused on Celtic. As a team, we're looking to tie up the league and cup double. Him and the players know what's at stake and they know what they want. And at the end of the season, that's to be sitting there, coming along to the charity game the day after the cup final, walking out onto the pitch in front of all those Celtic fans, standing in front of Celtic Park, holding aloft the cup and the league trophy, getting off the bus and walking up the Celtic way, the iconic Celtic way. So it is the best stadium in Scotland. It's the best looking stadium. The facilities around about the stadium needed a little bit of more improvement. They need to get the hotel, but I think Celtic in all are going the right way. One person that's going to be here for another year is the one and only Greg Taylor. Greg Taylor only has 1 year left on his contract. Greg Taylor, the player that a lot of people said before Ange Postecoglou came in, is get him out. He's not a Celtic standard, and it was woeful. Everyone wanted Greg Taylor out. Everyone's been shouting about a new left back for years. But he has been talking about the fact that his contract is up for renewal at the end of next season. With his contract remain ready to expire, there's been no talks with the club, and he's focused on the domestic double, as are all the players. Since taking over from Kieran Tierney back in 2019, God, you think about that. And then you think about how Tierney's careers went. And Kieran Tierney, who's injured again, and it looks like he might actually miss the Euros this year. It's been an unfortunate thing, and I think now's time to put to bed the clamber for some Celtic fans to bring Kieran Tierney home. I think he's pretty much made of chocolate, and that's no disrespect to him as a player, but he's injured far too often for what we need as a player. And I think bringing Kieran Tierney back would be great, and it would be. But sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes when a player goes back to a club, it's never as good. It's never as good as what it was the first time, and you could see the writings on the wall. And it's going to be a shame because Kieran's going to get to the end of his career, and it's going to be what ifs. What if he had stayed a bit fitter at Arsenal? Could he have done a bit better? If Arsenal going to win the league this season, he'll be absolutely gutted that he's not at Arsenal. If if this season hadn't been full of injuries in Spain, could he maybe have got a move to a bigger club in Spain? Well, we'll see what happens with Kieran Tierney, but I think it's time to put to bed the Tierney to Celtic thing, because I just think he's far too injury prone. Anyway, Greg Taylor has said that Greg Taylor, who stepped to the plate under Ange Postecoglou, became this reasonably averagely good player. At 26, he's became an integral part of the Celtic team. He is a first choice pick. We had brought in Alexandro Bernabe, who came into Celtic at a good fee, and even he couldn't displace the one and only Greg Taylor. Greg Taylor, you've got to admit, upped his game slightly, but then Bernabe could be said it was rubbish, and he's now back in South America. He says when it comes to the contract situation, he said, look, I'm just focused on this season. He says, when it comes to it, I just want to do well for Celtic. It's likely we'll come into next campaign and we'll probably get the contract situation sorted out after the summer and then going into the next campaign. There's no rush for it, you know. It says there's been no need for talks. I've just been focused on my football, day in, day out. We'll see what comes to it at the end. If I can do well for Celtic, and then I'm happy. I think he will get an extended contract. Celtic won't allow his contract to run down and allow Greg Taylor to walk away for free. He is part of that Scottish contingent, which is good for Europe. So that's why I think Greg Taylor, like it or not, a lot of people are going to say, look, Greg Taylor's shy, he's under this and that. Greg Taylor should be in the Celtic shirt. The fact he's a Scottish player, he will get a new contract at Celtic. I'll tell you that now. He will get a new contract at Celtic because he's Scottish and it helps for the Scottish contingent for European football. He might not be number one at Celtic in maybe a year, 2 years' time. We might go out and find another left back that displaces him from the team. And a lot of people will say, yes, thankfully, hopefully it's somebody that can cross a ball. People, Celtic fans are all on this channel. I love every single comment and I love the fact that there is such engagement and we can talk about it. So tell me what you think about Greg Taylor. I think he will get a new contract, and there's no doubt about it, just purely for the fact that he's Scottish and we need that Scottish contingent. And that's it at the end of the day. Other Celtic news, there's not a lot kicking about this morning. Obviously, we did the last night when we did the live. We did do the live last night, and we picked the team, and it was interactive. If you haven't seen that video, go and check that out now. Just double check any more Celtic headlines that have came out this morning. No, we've had warnings said Hart. We've had loads of warnings. Joe Hart. We've had loads of warnings about our defence this season, and Ali McCoist has been talking, fucking pumping his gums this morning on the radio about the fact that Rangers are going to come to Celtic Park and they're going to do something. No, they're not. They're not. Celtic will use the game at Celtic Park in a couple of weeks' time to cement the league title. Anyway, on that note, I hope you're well this morning. I hope this video finds you well. Thank you to every single one of you that subscribed to the channel last night, and to the ones that had a little bit of fun during the video, during the live, that would unsubscribe just as we were getting to the 16,000 subscribers. I know it's all just a good laugh, and it's all about entertainment. And on that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.